Thank you.
For what?
For believing in me.
Superman's back, baby! As if the Snyder Cut coming to HBO Max wasn't enough to get DC fans completely hyped, we've just learned that Henry Cavill is slapping on the red cape once again to return as the Man of Steel. Last year it was announced that Warner Brothers and Henry Cavill had parted ways so WB could focus their efforts on a Supergirl film. However, it looks like those plans have been scrapped, and instead Superman reportedly is set to appear in multiple DC movies. Unfortunately for now, it looks like Man of Steel 2 still isn't happening, and instead Warner Brothers are modeling Superman after the Hulk or Nick Fury in the MCU, utilizing him as a side character in other movies. Look, at this point, we'll take what we can get.
You can embody the best of both worlds.
What's up guys, Chris Killian here, and this all begs the question, which DC movie is Superman going to appear? DC's got a full film slate ahead of them for the next few years, so let's discuss the likelihood of which of those movies old Supes might be popping up in for a cameo. The first DC movie slated for theaters is Wonder Woman 1984. Now obviously the film is shot and finished, so it's impossible for Superman to have a role after the fact. However, director Patty Jenkins has made it very clear that the third Wonder Woman movie will finally bring Diana Prince into modern times, and considering where she made her film debut, a post-credit scene involving Superman would be a perfect way to set that up, either from old footage or something secretly filmed last minute. It doesn't take Brainiac to see that DC would want to capitalize on all the recent momentum they've gained from the Snyder Cut announcement, and what better way to announce to the world that the DCEU is back on track than from a post-credits appearance from the last son of Krypton.
Glad I didn't miss this.
So am I.
Next up, we have The Suicide Squad, which is the quasi-sequel slash soft reboot that's not connected to the first film whatsoever, but also kind of is. I'm not sure, it's all a little confusing, but in James Gunn we trust. As with Wonder Woman 1984, The Suicide Squad has already wrapped filming, so an appearance by Superman is probably not in the works. A lot of the villains in the films are also minor characters with more ties to Batman or Flash than Superman. I suppose there's always a chance they decide to go back and film a flashback of Superman throwing down with someone the same way Ben Affleck's Batman made appearances in the first Suicide Squad, but I don't really see that happening.
I want to build a team of some very bad people who I think can do some good.
Currently in the midst of filming is The Batman with Robert Pattinson stepping up to be the Caped Crusader. There are a few things to consider here. The script is already finished and director Matt Reeves is going for a more grounded, noir-like take on the Dark Knight that focuses on his abilities as a detective. So Superman doesn't really fit. Henry Cavill's Superman also has a complicated relationship with a different Batman, and they didn't even meet until Batman was already a grizzled veteran. So popping up in a younger, different Batman movie makes zero sense. Instead, these two will probably be kept apart in different quote-unquote universes.
Yeah, something is definitely bleeding.
At the tail end of 2021, we've got the long-awaited solo Black Adam film starring The Rock. While anything's possible, this movie is being touted as a Black Adam origin film that will likely be set in ancient Egyptian times and reveal what happens to Black Adam before his inevitable encounter with Shazam. Plus, with the box office power of The Rock, an appearance by a more well-known hero won't be as necessary, though The Rock and Henry Cavill do have the same agent, so you never know.
I did not spend 5,000 years traveling across the infinite void of space to be thwarted by some man-child.
Based on the ending of Shazam, Superman and Shazam are now buddies. At the time it was filmed, the relationship between Cavill and Warner Brothers was already on shaky ground, so they opted to use a body double instead of Cavill himself, which is why we never see Soup's face. So this needs to be rectified. Throw in the fact that Black Adam is rumored to be the big bad in Shazam 2, and it might take the combined efforts of both Shazam and Superman to take him down, which they've been known to do before both in the comics and in animated form. There's almost zero chance we don't see Superman in Shazam 2.
But I'm also a big fan of justice.
Both The Flash and Aquaman 2 are slated for 2022, and Superman would fit right into either film considering his already established relationship with the two from Justice League. Who knows, by this point in time, if the DC movies prior to these have been successful, Warner Brothers might already have plans for a Justice League 2 in the works, and both of these films would be perfect opportunities to set this up.
How many of you are there?
Not enough.
Something no one's brought up yet is a possible appearance by Superman in HBO Max's upcoming Justice League Dark series set to be developed by J.J. Abrams. A couple years ago, the idea of a big screen Superman popping up on a TV series seemed highly unlikely, but Disney Plus and their slate of upcoming Marvel shows has changed everything. HBO Max will likely be looking to compete with the MCU, and what better way to connect Justice League Dark to the DCEU than by having a few appearances by Cavill's Superman. Plus, J.J. Abrams is said to be a big fan of the Man of Tomorrow and would likely be chomping at the bits to utilize Superman in some form or fashion. Where do you think Superman's gonna pop up? Tell me in the comments and make sure you like the video for support. You can find me on Twitter at Chris Killian or Instagram at CKComedy, and head over to Comicbook.com for all the latest on when we're gonna see Superman again in live action. Thanks for watching.